Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 98 of No Longer, folks, the Dorton and Duckett Debate podcast, but the North Star 9 Minnesota Townball podcast. Wanted to do a little bit of a rebranding, a little bit of a facelift. You know, Dorton and Duckett was great, made a long way with that, but we love Townball. We were only talking Townball, so we figured we'd change it just to that too. So, without further ado, our first official guest of the North Star 9 podcast now, from Brownton, representing the Brownton Bruins, we have Taylor Schuette and Ryan Grams. How you guys doing today?
Good. Very good. So,
Doing great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you guys taking the time out to joining us, and it's going to be a great time talking some town ball. You guys are hosting state too, which is super exciting as well too. So certainly chatting a little bit of that. We do have another co-host. He's been on our program a couple of times here. My battery mate in Arlington, Shane Olson, joining the pod. He had his own episode. He actually was the first ever town ball talk episode was Shane Olson, but now he's joining us in another role here. So we appreciate you having me, Shane.
Hey, thanks for having me there, Lucas.
Yes, absolutely. We had to add another face. You know, Nick and I seeing us for too long. I want to change things up a little bit. It's not good for anyone. So had to get someone else out there. But without further ado, Shane, you were going to start us off here with the little Crow River review, running through some scores here and finishing with our boys here from Brown and talking about their game a little bit. So I'll let you take things away here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a segment that I made up literally 15 minutes ago, so we're just gonna roll with it here. So this, as Lucas just said, this is the Crow River review. It is brought to you by absolutely nobody because we do not have sponsors here.
So if you want to sponsor us, hey, come on.
First off, we're gonna start with Glencoe and St. Bonnie, a little cross-class matchup here. I don't know if cross class is a thing this year, but with our new A, B, and C class rating, we are gonna call it that from now. Glencoe defeats St. Bonnie 5-3. Gentlemen, if you guys have any input on that, a class C team defeating a class A team. Now, granted, St. Bonnie has a lot of players from Crown College, I believe. Is that correct? You Crow River guys who have been historically in the Crow for longer than Arlington has.
Yeah, they have college guys.
Longer.
Guys.
Sure. So is that kind of expected this early in the season where a team like Glencoe can kind of sneak out a win against a Class A team like St. Bonnie?
Oh yeah, with all the college guys St. Bonnie have, I couldn't even probably tell you who made their lineup this week. So
sure.
I don't think, they don't know who's coming and going this early in the year, and Glencoe's probably got their whole team there. So
sure. Yeah. So next we have Watertown defeating Baseball 365 in a score of 8-4. Now that is a Class B team defeating a Class A team, so that's a little more realistic, but at the same time, it is early in the season. I know Watertown brings on a lot of college guys too. So that, and Watertown is a hell of a team too. They let's not forget, Lucas, last year we opened our season against Watertown.
Yeah.
We had a runner in the first inning on second base, and then we didn't have anybody else on base the entire game.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that runner got walked onto first and then stole second. So that wasn't even a hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was last year. This is a new year.
That's right.
Next we have Cologne. I don't want to say anything mean. So Cologne beat Green Isle 11-3. That is a big margin of victory. We love that for the boys in Cologne. Next up, mine and Lucas's game. Arlington defeats Montrose Waverly and scored a 10-4. I believe the social media guy for Arlington
Wonder who
said something along the lines of Lucas Jordan spun a gem. He threw 4 scoreless innings, gave up 2 hits and 0 runs. I don't know who the social media guy is, but he sounds handsome.
I would agree.
Yeah, me too. Next, the Brownton Bruins. 2-1 over the Gaylord Islanders. Gentlemen, how did that game go?
Fast, which is what we love.
Yeah, we do love fast games, especially on April 27th.
Go ahead, Taylor.
It was quite the difference with Graham's only, I think, throwing 50 pitches instead of 150. But
yeah, I only had to go 4 innings, so that was good. Good start to the year for me. Only having to throw about 52, I believe it was. And you know what? We came out. Taylor had a big hit right away in the first inning to give us 2 runs. And that's all we needed, I guess.
Yeah.
Cole Matthews, who is, I believe, will be a pretty good pitcher this year for us and will eat a lot of innings. And Seth Schuette came in and closed the door. So we have 3 guys, I think, that will win a lot of games for us this year. So, especially with the new alignment that we have going on. So, it's going to be a fun year. We're excited.
When you say new alignment, what do you mean by that?
Well, just the new alignment with the class A, B, and C, and
okay,
the upper teams in our league are now B mostly. So it'll be different. Be a lot different. I'll miss the rivalries. I can't even talk.
Welcome. It's not being able to talk is mostly terrible.
It's gonna be real weird. This coming Sunday we play Plato, not having it actually mean something, but I'm sure it'll be a good time still, like usual.
Yeah, still fun to play those guys and see those guys and talk to them after the game, and so
absolutely. I'm sure it's probably one of those things where, you know, the matchups themselves at the end of the day, standings wise, aren't going to mean a ton, but you still have those rivalries built in deep from times you're playing, or you know, friendly rivalries, competitive rivalries. So I'm sure that part of it isn't going to change. I mean, at least with Shane and I, you know, leaving the RVL, going to the Crow, you know, we're still going to have that rivalry with Gaylord. You know, our games aren't going to mean anything, but we're still going to have that rivalry. And yeah, absolutely, we want to beat them. So I would guess it's the same for you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Oh, absolutely. You still want to beat everybody. So you have the bragging rights a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's like last. Now the conferences got switched up along with the new alignments for A, B, and C. So with Gaylord, there's still a region game, so they still count towards our eligibility.
Right.
The 4 games of eligibility that we need. So really, the only game that we have this season that truly doesn't mean anything is the one that we played this last weekend.
Mm-hmm. So
they all count from here on out.
Sure.
Which is kind of a fun kind of spin on things too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sweet, guys. Well, we're going to dive into our next part here. Thanks for chatting a little bit about your game, and congrats on the opening dub to start the season. That's huge to come out on the right foot there. So, and to beat Gaylord too. So we love that.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. Got to beat Colin. That's all that matters.
Yeah. That's good. Sweet, guys. So a couple of questions that I like to ask all of our new guests that join. They're all the same, but everyone's answers sometimes are a little bit different. And the only reason I ask them is just to try and get to know you a little more as the baseball fan and kind of your background and stuff too. So we'll start off here. First question, I'm assuming both you guys Minnesota Twins fans, unless I'm mistaken there for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we are.
It's tough right now, but yeah.
It is tough, but hey,
really bad, isn't it? No, now, Lucas, who's your team?
The Colorado Rockies.
There we go.
One of the seasons.
So, boys, gentlemen, it could be worse.
It could be worse. A lot worse.
Right here. Right here.
Would have never guessed.
Yeah, from Colorado initially.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yep. From there initially. So,
yep. They got better rooftop bars to pregame before the game.
The best spot in Denver is the rooftop bar at Coors Field. Yeah. No, I agree. Totally agree. Great atmosphere for sure. But anyways, we're not here to talk about my sorry team, so we'll move on to you guys a little bit more here.
I mean, we could.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be fun.
nobody wants to get depressed at the end of this, so we're just gonna
we
not
won.
talk.
We're just you'd be the one to be depressed a little bit.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. Everyone would be sad hearing how sad I am about it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we don't need that. You're right.
Yeah, probably not. No, we want to keep the vibes high. We want to keep the vibes high here. So okay, awesome. So who is your guys' all-time favorite Minnesota Twins players?
It's tough.
Well, as
Bucket.
a pitcher, Johan Santana
Sure.
or Lariano.
Yeah.
And he was good
Back
in his
in the
prime.
day, I was a big Doug Mankiewicz guy.
Sure.
Okay.
Prime Francisco Liriano when he was here.
Insane.
There was no that 1 or 2 years where we had Johan and Liriano in the
Yeah.
same
That was fun.
starting barrage. It was so much fun to be a Twins fan.
Yes, it was. Lariano's slider was absolutely
Oh, nuts.
Disgusting.
I didn't have a changeup when I was in high school. Started developing one kind of in college when I went to Fergus Falls, and I just wanted to be like Johan. So I tried to do what he did with his changeup, and right now it's actually my best pitch. So it's come a long way, which is kind of fun, and I loved Johan. So
that is a really good guy to mirror yourself after.
Oh, absolutely.
well, definitely not as good as him.
Well,
But hey, well, it was just fun to watch him and watch him pitch and what he did on the mound. And
Throw more than 5 innings.
yeah.
Yeah. Unlike the current regime. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Doug Mankiewicz for you, Taylor, that was your guy?
Yep. I don't know why, but he was just the guy.
Hey, I respect it. That's all right.
I think all the Pine Tower, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
he was just a rugged guy that
was he the one that
did
he
a
have
little
big
bit of
bubble
everything.
gum in his mouth?
Yeah.
Had the big wad. Yeah.
Awesome
Those
defensively, actually a pretty decent hitter in his prime. Yeah.
he was the ball player's ball player.
Yeah.
Really, just like the everyman type of ball player.
Yeah.
He was a fun guy to cheer for.
Okay. Now another question for you here. Now this one is a little bit tougher. Sometimes people got to think about it a little bit. So no worries if you don't get something right away. Now, who is your favorite all-time MLB player that didn't predominantly play for the Twins? Now, maybe they spent like a year or two on the Twins, but like predominantly played elsewhere, or just someone you really admired watching.
Yeah, that's a little tougher one.
A tough one.
I'd say Greg Maddux.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Great answer.
Yeah. Just seeing him go out there, hitting his spots, didn't overpower anyone.
Yeah.
Threw 9 innings damn near every game. So
Gold Glover too.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what popped in my head. So I got to go with it.
Love it.
My first one would be Barry Bonds
Okay.
or Ken Griffey, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those two popped in my head. And
Lucas
then
is
if I
a
wanted
big
to go
Griffey
pitcher-
guy.
What's that?
Lucas is a big Griffey guy.
You like
Oh, yeah.
Griffey. Yeah, I'm with you.
I hated Griffey when he played the Twins, but
Well,
because he would hit about 5 bombs every 3 games against them. So
That's a good answer.
yeah. And then as a pitcher, there's 2 guys I really liked. Randy Johnson was a good one. Was one of my favorites.
Big unit.
And then it's kind of a weird one for me. He was one of those little guys that was a closer for the Mets, Billy Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
Through like
Lefty
98, 99.
fireball.
Yes, and it was only 5'8", my size.
Yeah.
I'm just like, holy smokes. No, he was fun to watch as a closer. So
are you touching like 95 plus with like him or 100?
yeah. No.
I'm thinking 75 this year.
Yeah, 75.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, maybe back in the day, maybe 85, but no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Like
it's
into the
this
mid-90s.
old arm, I tell you.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. I feel you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No.
Cool. And then last one here we have for you. Maybe again another tough one, but who is a player that you guys really appreciated that probably will never be a Hall of Famer, maybe wasn't even an outstanding player, but just someone that you liked watching for whatever reason? So for example, we've gotten some Nick Puntos before. Just like, so those type of players, if that makes sense. And if not, that's okay, because that's a tough one.
Well, the first one that comes to mind for me is Christian Guzman.
Oh,
Okay.
great
know.
pull.
I have no
I was
idea
gonna say-
why, but just how fast he was, and it was insane how many times he hit the ball off the plate and just bounced off the turf and at the Metrodome.
If we're going Twins too, I was pulling from the Twins too because it's just easier. But
Yeah.
Jock Jones just leading
Jock
off, hitting
Jones,
bombs.
Yeah,
great
Jock Jones.
pull.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
leading off with bombs.
Yeah.
And he stood about 5 feet off the plate and still hit it. I don't understand.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one, Taylor.
I always
Yeah,
kind of fancied myself a Lou Ford type of guy.
Move
Oh,
forward,
yes.
okay.
Which, yeah, I just again, kind of the same breath of Doug Mankiewicz too. Just kind of a ball player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy rocked.
Yeah, only has to make sense to you. That's all that matters.
Correct.
That's good. That's good.
Was he on was Lou Ford on the same team as the Piranhas? Was that same kind of type of years? Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yep.
that was big a little bit more punto towards the end, but
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Love it. Love it.
So,
Well, there we go. Thanks for giving me a little bit of your baseball fandom and your background a little bit there. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Some good answers there. Some good answers.
thanks.
So we'll move on to you guys a little more now here. So chat with me a little bit. Obviously, this is a Townball podcast, Chat and Townball. I love to hear people's backgrounds, how they got into it, when did they first get introduced to it. I guess their background going into Townball. How did that happen for you guys? And Taylor, we'll start with you on that. How'd you get into it then?
well, I was forced to go to the ballpark in diapers. My dad has been a manager since I was born, so just kind of grew up at the baseball field. So been there ever since, I guess. Well, turned 37, and I think my first at bat, I was 12 years old, out of sixth grade or in fifth or sixth grade, and struck out looking at a curveball I thought was going to hit me in the face. So, but yeah, I've been just kind of growing up at the field. So
Absolutely.
I guess that's my story.
Yeah,
He's
I love
still
it,
scared of
Ryan.
that curveball, though.
Yeah.
He still thinks it's going to hit him in the face. And he's 37.
Yeah. Well, now I think it's going to break me. Come on now.
Well, that's true. Old and fragile,
Right.
I hear you guys.
even though I'm older. But
Ryan, what about you? What was your background? How'd you get into it?
in high school, I started out with Play-Doh, just from Dean Schwartz being my coach in high school at GSL. It was kind of a thing to do. You played ball at GSL and you started your town ball career in Play-Doh. That's kind of what Dean did. So, and still does. So, and then after that, I went to Glencoe till about 2011. After my senior year. But no, when I was little, my dad and my family just loved going to games, and I went to a lot of games when I was little, and had a couple buddies when we just run around, and all the great memories of just running around after foul balls and tackling each other, and dad yelling at me and mom yelling at me because I have holes in my pants and grapes on my legs, or yeah. So no, my family's always been a baseball family, and we've gone since I was little just to go to games. My dad loved it. So
Yeah, absolutely. So for both of you guys, it kind of sounds like it was one of those things where it was inevitable. Like you knew it was going to happen. It literally was just a matter of when. It's kind of how I'm understanding that.
Yep. It was playing all back, playing I don't even know what we called it, but and then it transformed into I'm bat boy, and I'm dealing with the guys just chucking bats and helmets, dodging those back in the day. So yeah, it was a good time.
Absolutely.
That's not amateur ball players. I don't know what you're
No.
talking about.
We can't do that anymore, but
yeah, back in the day, you're ducking and covering.
Can't do that.
You wouldn't want to be
you
on.
just try to avoid the red man piles of chew.
Yeah, all the wads all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. No, that's pretty cool. I know a lot of times that from guests that we've had on in the past too, most of them, that's kind of how it started. whether it was having family involved before them, if it was a dad, a grandpa, a brother, uncle, whatever it is, had some kind of family ties into it, or like Ryan, like, growing up to games when you were younger and getting grass stains on your jeans with your friends and mom getting upset at you. Like, I think that's pretty awesome. And that's baseball in its purest form right there. And I think that's what's just the awesome thing about Townball.
Well, the other thing for me is I'm the youngest of 5.
Okay.
So we played a lot of ball and we lived on a farm.
Okay.
So my siblings, they would beat the heck out of me, and especially my brother. So a little of my toughness, even though I'm not that tough, is from my brother beating on me and whatnot. So we played a lot of ball and broke a lot of windows and got yelled at quite a bit.
Well, shout out to your brother for toughening you up a little bit then.
Let's not give him a shout out.
Okay. I rescind that. Strike that from the record. Strike that from the record. Oh, that's good. That's good.
I love my brother. He's good. He was good. So
good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Taylor, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I'm interested to hear both of your guys' thoughts on this. And another question I like to ask, just because it's interesting, a lot of times in sports with rookies or guys coming in, you hear their welcome to the league moment, if you will. What was the first realization for both of you guys when you were like, yeah, this is something completely different. Like, these guys are like actually really good. Taylor, was it that breaking ball that you thought was going to hit you in the face, or do you have another moment for you?
I'd probably say it was probably back in the day once I actually was starting and getting up to the plate and facing Tony Clay, I guess would be my memory. That ball humming in there. That guy was a stud for a lot of years while we were playing. So trying to hit a 92, 93 mile per hour fastball or whatever he was humming at that point, with a good breaking ball, I guess that would be my time. Like, oh shit. So
yeah,
we just got to try to get it in play. So
yeah, put bat to ball, close your eyes and swing hard and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah. Ryan, what about you? Did you have that moment?
I had a few moments.
Okay.
Facing Josh Anthony back in his prime, Tony Clay, obviously, and Mac Zacco. Another name is Brian Janicki, I should say. Those guys, all 4 of those guys could bring it. And I had in my head I was probably striking out most of that time when I was in my younger 20s or even teens. I was just like, oh no, what am I doing? So no, those 4 guys just, yep, I knew this is different. Just the way the ball was coming, the way they could break off their sliders or curveballs and whatnot. So, and all 4 of them could be Hall of Famers, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Everyone's story is a little bit different for that, which I think is pretty cool. Sometimes it's the, you're a sophomore in high school, 100 pounds soaking wet, and you're growing up against grown men out there, and they just power one past you. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome.
But shoot, I can't think of who it was when I was playing for Plato. I walked up to the plate. I'm like, okay, this guy's probably 40 years old. I'm like, there's no reason I can't hit this.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't throwing very hard. I can't think of who it was, but there's no way I could strike out against this guy. Well, you know what? He's crafty. And I learned that pretty quick, that these guys are crafty.
Yep.
That's kind of what I am now. I got to be crafty in my old age. So I wish I could think of his name, but no.
I remember the little thumber from St. Peter, what's the old manager's guy, his name? Damn it, I can't think of his.
I know.
He would just throw a little left. He was throwing it up like 40 miles an hour, and it was just mowing us down.
Oh, wow.
Just hitting his spots, and it was the biggest looper of all time. It's like, how do you not hit this? But that's
right.
He hit his spots, and
that's all you got to do. Hit your spots and be crafty.
And mix speeds.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux-esque there.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Maybe a little bit slower than Greg Maddux, but
a little bit. Probably both. Yeah, 40, 50 miles an hour.
That's good. Yeah, that's awesome. Shane, remind me, did you ever have that moment? I can't remember. I'm trying to think back from when we chatted. What was your, I don't know if I ever asked you that one. What did you have one of those?
I did.
What was yours?
It was my second season. I think it was the very first game of the year. It was I can't remember if it might have even been against Brownton in Arlington. We had a play at the plate, and I had the most perfect throw from center field, straight to me, one hopper. I had the guy at the plate dead to rights, and I caught the ball, and I just forgot what to do.
Jeez.
And of course, like he's out by 5 steps. It could not have been a better throw from center field straight to me.
Yeah.
And he just hit the brakes and then started running back towards third. So I'm chasing him, and then I just overthrow him.
Yeah.
I just overthrow the third baseman, goes straight into left field. Runner comes in to score. Next guy gets to third. He comes in to score a couple plays later. So it just, and now granted, like my story, I mean, I took almost 15 years off and then came back and played once we moved to town in Arlington here. But yeah, no, I completely spaced and completely forgot what to do and just mailed it into left.
That's funny. That's hey, that's all right.
It happens in the major leagues too. Don't worry.
It's just baseball. It's just baseball.
Right.
Rockies
baseball.
probably do it every night.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Who was the guy with Pittsburgh that forgot to cover first base or had the ball and just stopped? Was that a Pittsburgh pitcher or something last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, against Javi Baez, just could have stepped on first base.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So things happen. It's baseball.
Oh,
right?
for sure. It's just baseball, and we have fun playing, and that's really what matters.
Right. We're not getting paid millions. We're just having fun and enjoying.
Correct.
Enjoying the game and.
Absolutely.
How about you, Lucas? What was yours? Because obviously you didn't grow up here, so you didn't kind of have this Townball experience as a kid.
No.
So when you come to play for Arlington 5 years ago, what is your kind of welcome to the league moment?
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like, I didn't grow up with it. I really had no concept what it was. It was just, this is baseball. I like baseball. I'm gonna play, kind of thing. I don't think it took me probably a few years to really kind of understand it. So I don't know if mine is so much like I don't know, like embarrassing or bad, because I was very bad. I mean, I was very, very bad. My first couple years back, I took like 6 years off in between high school and here too. And I just thought I could step right back in and I'd be fine. Boy, was I wrong. I couldn't throw a strike, couldn't do anything. Just brutal. But no, I think my realization of like, this is what this is, probably, I think when we were, couple years ago when Arlington was hosting the friendly, and I think I got to pitch our first game. I don't even remember who we were playing, but I had a decent outing. Ended up pitching pretty well, and the stands were packed. And I remember like walking back to the dugout after the game, and this like 10-year-old kid was like, "Oh, hey, can I have your autograph?" And I'm like, "You talking to me?" Like, absolutely. That's so cool. So I think mine more so is like hey, I get what this is, versus like I'm just showing up to play baseball kind of thing like I was before. So yeah, that's probably mine.
That's
remind
cool.
me quick. Now granted, we play in the same team.
Right.
Was that the game against the Prior Lake Jays where you threw 6 scoreless innings and then won the game for us? Yeah, I think it was. Who are now just casually a Class A team. You're just being modest. That's fine. I get it.
Good team effort. Bats are hot.
That's a team guy right there.
Played well. Anyways, enough about me. We're not talking about Darlington and Lucas Dorton.
I did have one embarrassing play.
Ooh,
now that when Shane said something about his.
Let's hear it.
I was sophomore playing for Plato in high school, playing for Plato when he played Glencoe on Glencoe days. So here we are, big rivalry. Stands are just packed, and back in the day it was just packed with fans. And this was one big moment in my life because I was just like, all right, this game is different. I pinch ran late in the game, about eighth inning. I think we were tied, if I remember right. And here I am leading off. Lefty hitter comes up, smokes one right at me. I try to jump, and it just drills me right in the leg.
Oh no.
And guys were just Plato guys were just pissed. Like, you need to get out of the way of that. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I was scared shitless, probably standing there. I'm like, why'd they have me in the game?
And these bases are 200 feet apart all of a sudden.
Right. I mean, I was decently fast, but geez, that was not a good time to put a sophomore in a game situation with the crowd the way it was. And yeah, I just that just popped in my head that
That's a good one. It's a good one. That's cool.
So here I got to walk or slowly run back to the dugout all the way across the field.
Yeah, don't rub your leg. Don't rub your leg.
Gotta look tough. Gotta look tough. Gotta
look tough. Don't look at anybody.
Yeah.
Just look at the ground. Act like you're pissed.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong. But I got to figure it out.
Guys are pissed at me.
So that's good.
No,
that's good.
I'll make sure to not mention any of mine. I got too many, so.
You don't have all night, is what you're saying? Man.
We need a net. We need a net in our dugout in when Taylor was playing second base.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Look out.
We had a lot of Chuck Knoblochs.
Okay.
Situations out of Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. In a couple of weeks, when we host you guys, we'll get a couple of those stories out of you.
There we go.
There we go.
Taylor plays first now, so he can't do that anymore.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh, that's all right.
You know, if you just tell the guy to go from first to third, and Taylor has the ball, just run the third. Good chance of safe.
You might get. So you're gonna say that, and you're just gonna gun us down. You're putting on a front for us here.
Let me just send an email to Alex Reichenbach real quick.
Do it.
Yeah, scouting.
I'll laugh when it happens.
Yeah. This is actually not really a podcast. We're just getting the early scouting report on you guys. Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. Well, see you later.
Just run the third.
Yeah, run the third. Don't stop running.
That's the only strategy we have is just run to third.
That's good. Awesome. So now chat with me a little bit about your guys' progression throughout the years of being on Brown. Obviously, Ryan, you mentioned on a Glencoe when he first started out and doing some things there. So what did that transition look like for you going from Glencoe to Brownton? When did that happen and kind of why? What did that look like for you?
A lot of guys retired in 2011 and with Jason Schuette, Dan Ford. I don't know if you know any of those names. There's a bunch of old guys that retired, and I was going to be the oldest on the team at like 25, I believe, at the time. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this. And I knew our guys are going to be very young. I'm just like, you know what? My plan, Taylor was recruiting me heavy. A lot of Brownton guys were. They were buying me drinks constant. It was great. I want to go back to those days.
Good strategy, honestly.
Love that strategy.
But you know what? My whole family is from Brownton. So I have a lot of relatives from Brownton. My grandpa, my mom grew up in Brownton. A lot of relatives. I'm like, you know what? I'll go to Brownton for 2 years. My plan was 2 years. Well, here I still am. Because I ended up marrying Taylor's sister.
There we go.
Oh, there we have it. Wow. Man. Taylor, you're recruiting a brother-in-law. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if I would have known that, I wouldn't have recruited him.
Yeah, stay in Glencoe.
Yeah, stay in Glencoe. Shoot. So that kind of put a damper on me going back to Glencoe after a couple years. And,
I suppose you can't do that.
No.
Yeah, that makes Christmas a little weird if you end up doing that.
Yeah, a little bit. So no, that's just the transition, and you know what? It's worked out really well for me, and I'm thankful for Brownton for all they have done for me, and so I'm glad I made that transition. So,
so Taylor, now chat with me a little bit. It sounds like you've been a part of Brownton your whole life, if I'm not mistaken there. Talk to me on your end a little bit about the progression of kind of how the team was and kind of what things looked like when you first started to now. Obviously, you guys have had, some success, which is pretty cool. So chat with me about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's obviously a lot different I guess back then we had a school, McLeod West, back in the day. So we always had good baseball. Dave Wentland was a high school coach, Hall of Famer. So the Wentland was a big family in town, and we always kind of had the good baseball teams feeding into from Brownton and Stewart feeding into our amateur ball. So yeah, and then 2011 or 12, Ryan comes. So that's kind of like probably one of the first outsiders coming in to a group that's usually just your hometown crew. And then 2013 finally made it to state after I don't know how many years in a row. From 06 to 2013, we were one game away from state, losing to Tony Clay, 2-1 in the ninth inning or something, multiple times. So I think that was what it was. And then 2016 we had to start. We lost our school in 2010. So we had to evolve, I guess, and get a lot of guys from surrounding communities. So now we got guys from, a lot of Glencoe guys, Hutch, the Gibbon, Fairfax, Winthrop area to pull guys in and get their buddies to come in. So
I just had to raise my hand because I beat Brownton a few times.
Oh no.
that's
Oh
yeah,
no.
back then, yeah. So it was we were always the game away from state. It was a matter if we could make it, and we multiple years we had Nick Heller, Josh Wentland, just stud pitchers. Them two would just rotate going 9 innings. There were only 2 pitchers basically.
Yeah.
Heller won a couple pitchers over the years in the Crow, tied with Clay one time. So we've always had the pitching and the defense, I guess. Overall, it was always just the hitting. When we get to that point, you got to score 3 runs basically, and a lot of times it ended up 2-1. But we finally broke through, and then, like I said, 2016, we got Josh Dietz. He came in and made a big impact on our team. And then, a couple of years ago, we've added some other guys, Scott Finberg, who's a stud. That's helped us at short solidify that. And we're always right there with those teams that are making it every year. Like you guys mentioned Watertown. That team is loaded, and they haven't even made state the last 2 years. So our league is tough, and we're always in it. St. Bonnie, we had on the ropes in our 3-game series, and they go on to state, and they're an A team this year, and they, I think, won their first game in state. If I'm not wrong on that.
Yeah, I got drafted by them. We won the first game last year. So
absolutely. So now, how many state teams have you guys both been a part of now?
3. Right, Ryan?
Oh, and for Brown, 3.
Okay.
You were maybe before with Glencoe.
Glencoe, I think, what do we make it? 3 times now with them, if I remember right. So 6 with my own teams.
Yeah.
And I've been a part of state tournament since 2009, every year, except for 2018, I believe.
Sure.
I had a wedding in Colorado, of all places.
Oh, welcome home. Come on.
So I didn't get drafted that year that we lost out, but I've been a part of state otherwise every year since 2009 for sure. So
now, if you guys can both think back to the first time that you went to state, very first time, what was that feeling like? I mean, I that's the goal, right? Every year, get to state, get to state, get to state.
Yeah.
Shane and I have not experienced that. Boy, do we want to. I mean, I last year was the first time I went to as many games as I could, and that environment is just got to be addicting. So tell me about the first time that you guys first went to state and what kind of that was like for you. Ryan, I guess if you want to start for this one, what was that like for you?
The first time in state, gosh, I can't think of. I got to think of the first year, but just being a part of that first state, I just remember how nervous you are.
Yeah.
All those emotions that go through you, and how you have to try to settle yourself down, just to play the game, or the game's going to get away from you very fast. Because you're scared of making mistakes. You're scared for pitching. It's like I scared to trying to be too fine instead of just pitching, right? Like during the year, you just pitch, right? And then the state comes, you have all these people watching, and you just got to control your emotions somehow. It's tough. It's really tough, especially your first time there. But if you could somehow control your emotions, let the game come to you, things will be on your side. So that's what I learned. And now it's just like whatever, right? For me, anyway. I've just been a part of it, so nothing really bothers me.
Right.
Environments don't bother me at all. You could be screaming at me, I don't really care. I'm used to it from my wife, because whatever, she likes to yell at me with the kids and whatnot. But
sure, used to it. Yeah, get it every day at home. No.
You know what? I do a lot of reffing, so I get screamed at when I ref basketball. So I'm like, you know what?
You're calloused with it.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't bother me. But no, just got to just control your emotions. It's a great time and a great memory. I can't remember the first time even.
Yeah.
I think it was 2007.
Sure.
If I remember right. But
I'm sure it's probably one of those things where like you want to tell at least right away, like one of the first times you go, like you want to tell yourself, oh, it's just another game. We're just still playing baseball, because it is, but the stakes are a lot higher.
Yeah.
So I could imagine it's like the very first time, it's probably got to be very tough to remember, hey, we've been playing the game we played our entire lives, but also like now we're actually really shooting for something here. But Taylor, talk to me a little bit. What was that like for you?
I mean, Ryan kind of hit on, I think, I mean, the feeling of going for the first time after being so close for so many years with our organization, that was quite the night, I guess, in Glencoe. We were in Glencoe. So we did fare so well the next day. I think we probably got 10 run, who knows, but
we did.
Yeah. I mean, it was against, Waconia, who was just second in state 2 years prior when we hosted back in 2011, and they all were studs, and to go in and beat them. And it was actually in the bottom of the ninth, right, Ryan?
Correct.
I think it was bottom of the ninth. Brian Norby hits a bomb.
Yeah, but don't sell yourself short here. You're probably one of your best highlights.
Taylor, what happened?
I think it was
eighth inning, right?
I think it was bottom of 8. I let off with a bomb to tie it. And then Norby hit a bomb to walk off and win it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we partied a little hard that night and got our
deservedly so.
Yeah, and then we went to Maple Lake, and I think, like Ryan said, I think just playing tight, and it's just you're pressing too much. I mean, we faced a guy that in a regular season we would have hit all over the place, and I think we couldn't hit him, and he was throwing just junk.
Right, one of those thumbers. He wasn't throwing hard.
Yeah. So I think Ryan hit it spot on. It's just the different. I think back even just 2016 and 22, we were a lot more relaxed there, knowing we could belong and make a run. So
what's the furthest that Brown has made it since you guys have been a part of the team then?
22, when we won that first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
We beat Gaylord.
Yep.
We beat Gaylord.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. And then we had Isanti, a 1 seed.
Yeah.
And we had them on the ropes. And that was the year that I thought we got past that game. We could have made a run. We lost by 1 run in the
13th,
11th inning or 13th inning. I mean, it was.
Now, granted, I was doing a little bit of research here just to figure out if Brown has ever won a state championship. 2022 NBA Class C state tournament, Isanti versus Brownton. It looks like it went 11 innings.
Yeah.
And the final was 3-2.
Yeah. We had numerous chances, just couldn't get the guy in, and I think Ryan pitched all 11 innings. So
I did. And I was not feeling the best. So.
And I think they got some early on you, and then just mowed them down after that.
Yeah, early on. Weird story, but I had my son's birthday that Friday night. We played Sunday against Isanti. Friday night we had my son's birthday at the party, so had a birthday party. So I'm cleaning up around the house and whatever else, and go to my wood pile because I'm just organizing it. And all of a sudden I got stung by one wasp on my wrist
Right.
and two wasps on my right above my elbow. And the next day I was sick, puking all day. So I had a reaction from 3, and of course it's on my right arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was on my right arm. So my whole arm swelled up. It was so bad. I'm like, I texted the guy Saturday. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go. I was just sick. I didn't eat anything. The only thing I ate, someone bought us actually my neighbor, Sarah Molno, bought us Subway sandwiches before the game. And I had a couple bites. That was the only thing I ate from Saturday and the Sunday before I pitched.
Wow.
So I had to find a way. But you know what? It was Townball. I wasn't gonna let it.
No.
Well, I think there was one meeting at the mound, and it was like Ryan's like, I don't know, man, and we're just like, shut the hell up, you need to pitch.
Yeah. That's how much trust those guys have in me, and I was just
like get it together, let's go. You can mow them down.
I got to
figure it out.
Those guys. So
yeah, you can
we fought
hard.
And it was fun. It was a fun little run, and
we've been pretty spoiled since way back since what 98 when Josh and Heller came out. Those two guys throw 9 innings every time. We had 2 of them, and then with Ryan, you get a guy that throws 9 innings, and so those 3 guys over the last 2 decades has been massive. So almost 3 decades.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I've learned in baseball throughout the years, especially getting to the playoffs, getting to state. Good pitching and timely hitting. You know, if you have both of those things, you don't need to score 10, 15, 20 runs. If you can have a pitcher that goes out there and shoves and you get them 2, 3, 4 runs, that could be good enough. You know, that can be good enough.
And you know what Taylor always says, you know, they always had good pitching and good defense and maybe not the best hitting. But you know what? You look at these teams in the state tournament and how stacked their lineups are. I don't care how good a lineup you have. Those pitchers are phenomenal that they're going against. Yeah. So, you know, we can grind out a run or 2 against a good pitcher. Anybody can. It's baseball, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter how good a lineup you have. I mean, obviously you want a really good lineup. Young America team, a big lineup, like 1 through 9, very, very tough. And then they go get shut out last year. So that's just baseball, right? It's just crazy how even the best lineups can get shut out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, even in the championship game last year when we, you know, Jordan in Waconia, you know, I mean, Jordan, an elite lineup, and Bezdacek came out there. I mean, that was an unbelievable pitching display.
Right.
One of, if not the greatest amateur baseball pitching performances I've ever seen.
Probably the best.
Yeah, and I grew up a Jordan Brewers fan. So I, you know, now granted I wear blue and red now, but I grew up, you know, repping green and gold. So it didn't go the way that I necessarily wanted that game to go to, but you have to respect the outing that Bezdacek had that day.
It was
phenomenal.
Shout out to Arconia. Here's a little twist on all this. Shout out to Arconia because they had to get there without him.
Yeah,
they did.
So they had to get there with a big outing by Trich to start the day or that weekend. And and then they just pieced it together, right? Austin Dent coming in. Dulas pitching well. I think Simon had a good outing. So, you know, the thing with the state tournament and having to win 4 games that last weekend, you see those number 1 guys pitch that right away, right? You don't see a number 1 guy, have a bachelor party or whatever he had. Can't think of what he had, but that he was gone all weekend, and then you get there and you have your number 1 guy. You're almost saying good luck to Jordan there.
Yeah.
Because the only exception to that rule is Tony Clay.
Right.
When he pitched at all but 4 innings at one state tournament
Yep.
with Plato.
That's Tony Clay and who what's his name from Sobieski did that a few times.
Yeah, he did the same thing.
So yeah, I mean, but you're getting Tony Clay, who's absolutely stud, pitching on every game that weekend. He's not fresh. So that's how outstanding that is. And
Yeah.
Tony Clay did.
That's awesome.
But anyway, yeah, shout out to Bezicek for what he did. That's you're not going to see another performance like that, I don't think, unless you could see a number one in a state championship somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
normally they pitch right away. So.
And in front of Jordan's home crowd too.
Right.
Just to come into that hostile environment and just absolutely shut them down was really again, now I say one of, if not the, I think I agree with you, it is probably the best amateur baseball pitching performance I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, if you get your number one, you get your number one guy to pitch in a state tournament.
Yep.
If you could save him for that, but and coming off fresh and whatever else, it's good for Waconia. And proud of them because they're part of our league, and it's awesome to see our league do well. So
yeah, absolutely. Now shifting a little bit, keeping on the state topic though, but a little different. You guys, amongst a couple of other squads, are hosting state this year. So talk to me about that a little bit. I know we've had some folks on last year, some Jordan guys, Belle Plaine guys. I know we're planning on having, Mitchell Matthews from Gaylord coming on again too, chatting about how things are going for them. But talk to me on your guys' side of things. How has that been? I know it's a lot of work. So just talk to me a little bit about that process. What's that been looking like for you guys?
you can go, Taylor.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, I guess. A lot of time at the field, a lot of improvements over the last 3 years here. A lot of money being put into the field, anything we can do to make it better. So yeah, it's a big commitment. Even now, just every committee doing their part on the back end that you never see. Food committees, beverage committees. Me and Ryan are on the ag committee. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes and a lot of volunteer work. I mean, we get people that have put in hundreds of hours up at that field, just volunteering their time. We finally got the why am I blanking on it right now? Because we haven't had one since I played the batter's eye. We finally got the batter's eye done, so that was a big improvement since our old one blew down way back in the day. But yeah, it's just a lot of time and commitment from a lot of people in the community. With us being a tiny town, it really shows. We got a lot of guys on our board that are driving from hour away, half hour away, 45 minutes away. They're taking the time out to drive and still put in the effort to make sure we are putting out a good, I guess, facility when come August. So
yeah. And you kind of alluded to it a little bit too, but I remember one of the big things that Jason Shalepsky mentioned when he came on last year and talked about a lot of the prep and stuff that Jordan was doing, getting ready for all that there too, is that it's a town effort. It's an entire town effort. Whether it's the local bar, whether it's guys on the team, fans, wives, kids, like everyone is having a hand in that. Has that been kind of similar for you guys too? A little bit of everyone has been helping making this thing roll so far.
Yeah. And I mean, I just remember last year losing to St. Bonnie in pretty tough fashion at the end of the game. There are series to go to regions, and no one wants to do anything, but we needed to pull a ton of fencing. We just had random fans out there, local people that hadn't helped the field in forever, out there pulling out posts and stuff. So that was pretty cool seeing everyone there. Just even after a loss, instead of just heading home, they stuck around and worked at the field and helped us get that kind of prep, because we did a lot of fencing projects here since I guess fall on. So
absolutely,
free beer goes a long ways.
Yeah.
that was going to be my follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it like Taylor said, it's a lot of work, and the guys that have been helping us and our board and the players, we're putting in a ton of hours up there, and it's just, you know what? It's more of a big shout out to our wives and girlfriends and letting us do that.
Yep.
No, my wife's a saint, so I don't know about everybody else, but when I go to the baseball field, she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna be gone for a while." And she knows it, and I bring two of the four kids that we have, and
Sure.
that helps a lot. So no, it's a big shout out to our wives, girlfriends, letting us do that, and the community that helps, and Brandon Drager coming from Kimball, and he's our president, and he's not in charge of everything, but he's a part of everything, and with his dad passing away now this last night, gonna put a little wrinkle in the next weekend or two, I think. So, but we're behind him. We're behind the Drager family, and a lot of hours, just a lot of hours, and we're thankful for everybody that helps us and does their part. So, we're gonna put on a good show.
Absolutely. Now, I'm sure this maybe is an impossible question, but has there been like one or two things that has been maybe, I don't know if toughest is the right word, but just the legwork behind it has been a lot more than anything else? Has it been the field work? Has it been other things around town? What have been a couple of those really huge projects that have really committed a lot of time to getting ready for state here?
Taylor, should we both say it at the same time? The grandstand?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of work on the grandstand, just updating things and getting redoing a bunch of old, because it's an old wood grandstand, and that's taken up a lot of time from people, hours and hours. So yeah, that would be the biggest one. But I mean, there's a ton of things that have been done and that are still need to be done here. We don't even have our first home game until June 8th, just because we don't have our net on the grandstand needs to be painted yet. There needs to be the net put up. There's new fencing going along there yet. So a lot of things that need to be done before we even host a game, and then hopefully have things pretty much tidied up by June 25th when we have Fox 9 out for Townball tour. So
you guys have the Townball tour and state in the same year.
Well,
wow.
yeah.
That's very
go big or go home.
I really
I love it.
Respect.
No.
We figured it would be a good trial, a good prep work trial run.
Absolutely.
For the state, getting the tent set up and the food tent and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we kind of planned that because Fox 9 asked us a couple years ago, and we kind of just kept pushing it off.
Well, and it's like really that benefits everybody. Yeah, it allows you guys to kind of practice in getting prepared for that 3 weekends of state, and it just kind of helps you like maintain the field throughout the year.
Yeah.
And just kind of based on the pictures that I've seen on social media, it's like you guys have the field looking really, really good so far. And for it only being May 1st, it's there are not a lot of parks that look super good this time of year. So kudos to you guys for getting a jump start on it.
Yeah, I think we're kind of a hidden gem there in Brownton. Come state tournament time, that field's going to be unbelievable. The playing surface, just the atmosphere. We got room for a lot of people there. A lot of cool things going on, and better viewing with lower fencing now going forward. So should be a good time.
Now, if you guys had to a couple years ago, maybe before you started this whole process of getting Brownton and starting it to get ready for state, do you have one piece of advice you would have given yourselves back then from what you know now for when you were first getting ready to start this project?
Buy more money earlier.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Having the money is everything. But
yeah, I mean, for us in a community, we got to raise a lot of money, and we don't just, there's a lot of organizations that just which are fortunate to get people that donate a lot of money or cities that donate a lot of money or whatnot. And, we've been fortunate enough for the Lions to help us out a little bit here, and the city as well with some fencing projects. But we're doing a lot on our own, just with our bar card sales through the through the Crow. Our golf tournament, we raise some money and give back to family in need. So I guess it would be started off even earlier on trying to get some funds in there to do everything we need to do. So
we're getting pretty close to everything that we want to get accomplished. So we want a party deck, and we don't know if we'll have the funds for that, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
So
that's,
to be determined. Wait and see.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we say is up in the air. I feel like everything else that we
want to have done is going to be done. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is big too, because we starting 3 years ago, we didn't know if any of that stuff was, we had to make certain things priorities, other things like a perimeter fence, like that wasn't a priority, but we got that done. And so now the entire ballpark is fenced in. It's more of a stadium type feel. So
yeah,
absolutely. So
that is
sorry, ahead,
one second. That is actually a good segue. So you mentioned your golf tournament that's coming up. I believe that according to what I'm reading here, that's Saturday, May 31st at Glencoe Country Club, correct?
right. Yes.
Are there still spaces available for that?
We actually do have 2 available now. We've had it full like 3 different times, and then people back out, which always happens.
Right.
Sponsorships then get a team when they could sponsor that and a team.
Yep. So I see that is benefiting Weston Paskowitz.
Yes.
Yep.
Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, it's a little more personal this year. It's a family member of ours.
Okay.
Yep.
So
tell us about him.
So yeah, Weston's a 9-year-old boy hockey kid out of Orono, but his mom is actually my cousin. Grew up with her, same age as me. They got 3 kids, 9 years old. Big sports guy, and just felt tired, was fatigued, and to the point where they brought him in and got diagnosed with leukemia. So that's been a battle. I think I just read his Caring Bridge site, but I think it was like day 90 that he's had this, and I want to say 80 plus of those days he's been in the hospital. So he's actually getting discharged tomorrow for the 2nd time. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah,
that's
had a bone marrow transplant that went well. So that's all looking good. But yeah, we it hit a little, Ryan kind of started this all. This is our 5th one, Ryan, or 4th?
5th year.
Yeah, 5th one. So the first 4, the goal is to just find local families in need and give back to them. And Ryan kind of started from scratch and built it up. And I do a lot of help with him too. And but he really does the legwork, and we've built it into every single year. We've filled all 36 teams and been able to give back 51 grand the first 4 years to families. So
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So you said you have 2 teams available for that tournament, right?
Yes.
If somebody would want to sign up for that, how would they do that?
Just you can reach out to me, and I'll send you a link to sign up for it.
Awesome.
All my info is on the paper, on the flyers. So yeah, if you want to sign up, we have 2 spots available. It'll probably fill up, so I'm not too worried.
Like you said, Ryan goes, we're full, and that was like 2 months ago. I'm like, shit. That's the students we filled up, and then we had a wait list, but we had some sponsorships that included teams that ended up not being able to get a team or whatnot from a company or whatnot. So otherwise check out our Twitter, X. I think the link for the signups on there, as well as Facebook, and I think Ryan's numbers on all that too. So
yeah, and it's been a awesome last 4 years to be able to do this and to give back to community. I always wanted to do something like this. Started with when my dad passed away in 2010, and always wanted to do something. And a buddy of mine came to me and said he wanted to donate money to someplace, and he told me figure it out and I'll donate money. So the first 3 years, Eric LeBron, ACC Midwest Transportation out of Hutch is my buddy, and he matched half of the proceeds that we gave the family the first 3 years. So last year he had a few things go wrong with a few of his businesses, and buildings fell over with the wind and whatever else. So he had to back out. But no, he was very gracious and donated half proceeds that we've given out to the families the first 3 years. And like Taylor said, 51,000 to 4 different families is pretty awesome.
That's really awesome.
The sponsorships and the community that we have in this area and even beyond is amazing. So we are very thankful for all them. It's been great. It's been fun. I look forward to it every year. Once you get through that first year, it's pretty easy. You just try to look for more sponsorships, but everything else just falls into place, and it's really easy now. And we're give out a check to the family. We're gonna actually give the family Weston and their family this year on Fox 9 night.
Wow.
So that's the plan. We're hoping Weston's doing all right by then.
Hoping he can make it that night, or he's out of the hospital and is doing well enough to be able to swing out. But that'd be cool if he could make it. So
yeah, I don't know. You might see my ugly mug on Fox 9. So I don't know.
Well,
hopefully they don't have a camera in my face, or else I don't know if I'll be able to speak.
Good cause.
Speaking of that,
I suppose I could tune in.
when is that Fox 9 game? Just so people can kind of get prepared for that.
Wednesday, June 25th.
Go ahead.
Yep. Wednesday, June 25th against Glencoe. So.
Oh, it's a league game.
It's a league game too. So
all right.
Yeah.
I told you, we go big or go home.
Yeah.
I love that.
Was it last year we went to Gaylord's Townball? Was it last year? But this year we got Glencoe, so we got a league game. Actually, before us too, the Hutch Legion is going to be playing the Plato Legion at 4:30, somewhere around there. So it's a whole day event.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what, we play Glencoe the Sunday before that game, so we'll try to beat them up for you guys.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I'll give them my
get their spirits down.
Use all their pitching too, right?
Yeah, on it. I won't pick up a bat, but I'll tell the other people on the team who do them.
Yeah, find some hits that Sunday before, will you?
All right.
Yeah, on it.
Yeah. All right.
On it. Yeah, we'll do.
We're looking forward to it. Glencoe is always a good competition, and obviously go back a lot of years for me, and it's always fun to play them and seeing some of the people that have still are around the park for Glencoe, and couple of my buddies growing up. Josh Craby just went back to Glencoe, so it's going to be fun to play against him, and hopefully I don't beam him. I usually do. So
it's your pitcher, it's your plate.
Yeah, right. That's what I try. Well, maybe I got to tell him that.
That's right.
You get off.
It's your plate. Yeah, you own it.
Yeah, that's right. No,
that's good.
No, we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun night. Very fun night for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. All that you guys are doing, and you're not doing it for you, obviously. But I think pat on the back is definitely well deserved, and I think just doing something for the community is unbelievable, and going to great causes. And I think for me, that's small town ball. Like, that's what that is, like you, and this is kind of going to be one of my next questions here for you guys. So I guess a good segue here, but like, you ask someone like, what is town ball? And I've gotten that before, and I've struggled to answer just because like, how do you describe it to the, the non-baseball town ball goer,
ones that think it's slow pitch softball beer league.
Yes. And that's the example I bring up every time, because like that typically is is it like beer league softball? No, not really at all. Yes, there are some, adult beverages drank, but
of course,
you have to. So I guess for you guys then, I'm sure you've gotten that question before. What typically is your best like elevator pitch, or your best way to tell someone what town ball is? What would be the best wording to use for that? Whoever wants to start with that one, Ryan, you look like
I thought you were going first.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe you'd give us some ideas.
Yeah.
okay.
Lucas, why don't you start and then I'll go, and then we'll have the Brownton
I
boys
gotta
go.
think on this a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I gotta try to remember what I tell people.
Sure. Sure. Boy. Okay.
Put you on the spot. See,
I can start
This
too.
is my
James,
podcast now.
Okay.
Start
Yeah.
us off, Shane.
Okay. So the way that I like to describe it to people, I said, imagine watching the Twins versus the White Sox, right? But instead of the guys that you're watching play baseball being professional baseball players, they're guys just like you and me, right? So they're your plumbers, your painters, your HVAC guys, your office guys who have always loved playing baseball. And this is not a knock at these beer league softball leagues or these regular softball leagues that are hyper competitive. But just imagine a major league baseball player is here, but then you got all these amateur ball players who are down here, right? So the competition is the same, but you didn't have to drive to Minneapolis and you didn't have to spend $45 to get into the game. You had to spend maybe $5 to get into the game. You buy a beer for $2. You watch really competitive baseball, but they're just guys like everybody else. It's so much further than a beer league, but also really not that far removed. But it's still hyper competitive. It's really fun. And you might run into that guy at the grocery store.
right?
So
Spot on.
there's my answer.
Taylor, are you going?
Well, I mean, I just think it's it's pretty much for the love of the game. I mean, you get guys that get together and you get out there and it's extremely competitive, which you get your competitive juices out. It's like nothing else. But then after the game, you can just shoot the shit and drink some beer and bullshit. And yeah, the next day everyone's got it on a Wednesday night. We're doing the field. It's 11 o'clock. Having a beer too because we won, and then I got to drive back to Waconia, get up and go to work. You know, everyone's kind of in the same boat. We got Rant driving to Woodbury. I mean, he's getting there at 1 a.m. and getting up to go home or to go to work. So it's just, I think it's for the bonding just to hang out with the guys but also having that competitive part of the game. So,
You know, I was just explaining to a coworker today, actually. You know, he goes, well, what days do you guys play? I said, well, depends on the week. Sometimes there's a Wednesday game, there's a Thursday game, Friday game. You know, every once in a while we'll have 5 games in a week. And, you know, that Wednesday game doesn't start until 7:30. So then suddenly, you know, he goes, well, how long is the game? I said, well, 2.5 hours, give or take. He goes, you're not getting home until 10:30. I was like, buddy, I'm not getting home till midnight some nights. You know, he goes, how the hell do you do that? It's like, well, it's 5 months a year.
Yeah.
It's not even half a year. And it's something that I look forward to year after year after year after year. It's, you know, it's if I have to get an hour less sleep 1 or 2 days a week for a couple months a year, it's worth every single second
absolutely
of sleep that I lose, you know?
it's the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be going to bed at 9 o'clock in the summer anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
I just, like you both have said, it's for the love of the game. You want to be competitive. You want to build relationships, and you know, throughout the years now. I mean, this will be number 24 for me.
Wow.
Year 24, and you know, it's those relationships that you get to build throughout the years, from other teams. Even it's not even just your own team. You could kind of compare it to ask the person what is their favorite thing to do and who to hang out with. You know what? It's the same thing for baseball. If you like baseball, if you like the Twins or you like Major League, yeah, we're not that competitive as them. We're not making the millions as them, like them. But we're very competitive. We're all in the same boat. We all have jobs the next day. We all like to drink beer after, have fun, joke around, shoot the shit, whatever. And now the biggest thing for me, from Townball is my kids. seeing all the kids at a Major League Baseball stadium, you don't get to see kids run around wild, throwing baseballs back and forth. I'm standing on the mound, and I just absolutely love watching my kids play. I'll look over and just see them playing or screaming, one of the two.
Yeah, they're both.
There's both. There's a lot of both.
No in between, right?
Yeah. Well, it happened Sunday. The twins. I have twins. Tyson, my little guy. I'm pitching, and all of a sudden I just hear screaming. I knew it was him right away, and I'm right in mid pitch. He starts screaming, and I just look over and I could just see him. My wife's just, my wife's the same. She's got to deal with 4 kids while I'm playing the game I love. Right. No, it's just that's a big thing for me now at my age, and seeing my kids getting just throw the ball around and have fun with other kids and that interaction with them. And it's like fans, a normal fan, you get to come to a game, you get to talk to people that you see regularly during the summer and hang out and have a beer with them and have stories about baseball. And so, no, I right now it's just for my kids. And
yeah, the kids is a big thing. I mean, we got the countdown. They can't. It's like every day is it a baseball game today. It's like nope. They got the countdown on how many days till every game because they can't wait. So that's cool. That's what makes it even more fun when you go there. Like Ryan said, like we go because we're playing, but our kids love being there too. And I mean Ryan's in a little different boat than me, but I don't have the toddlers or the young ones yet anymore, so they're big enough where Kelsey, my wife, can just sit and watch the game and have a beverage and bullshit with her parents and the other fans and my family and have a good time. So
yeah,
the one thing
for you, Ryan, unless you're having more.
Breaking news.
If it was up to my wife, it'd be one more, but I don't know. To go on what Taylor kind of said, so our boys are 1 year apart, and just seeing the cousins get to play together. They absolutely love, and the Brownton gear that they put on, and they have to have the baseball pants now and cleats, and you're like, oh my goodness,
face mask, everything.
Yeah, it's everything. So it's like
catcher's mask. Yeah.
No, just seeing that, and with my oldest Carter, who's 7, and Emmerich, who's 6, those two playing it together and seeing them out there running around throwing balls and tattling on each other, and then you get to see Kelsey go and yell at both of them and what is going on out here? No, so
there is that kind of core memory aspect of being a kid and going to a Townball game, and when you're 8, 9, 10, you don't really understand what you're watching. You're just watching baseball. You're just watching a bunch of guys play baseball. But it's like growing up here. It's like that. Townball is so uniquely Minnesotan too, where it is just a pure form of baseball. It's just it's just people playing the sport just purely for the love of the game and nothing else. Where it is very, it's special. It's special to us. It's unique to us. And it's something that I don't think any of us should honestly take for granted. But no, it's a very cool thing that we are blessed and fortunate to have here.
There'll be stories of when we're 70 or 80 sitting at the coffee table with the other people, and I remember that time when I was playing baseball.
Yeah.
So I gotta throw something out there before Lucas says his quick. We gotta touching on this, like, well, my dad's been managing for, I don't know, since he was 18 or whatever, and he's 66, 67. We got Wayne Kuyas on our team, who actually has been playing for over 50 years.
Oh, shit.
I think. Yeah. I mean, and last year, he struck out the side against Maconia. Pitching.
That's amazing.
60, wow. How old is he? 68 right now or 69? I mean, 67, 68, somewhere in that range. He's actually my godparent too, so I should probably know that, but that is awesome to see. It's just the love of the game just keeps coming, and he was just a stud back in the day. He was our starting shortstop till Ryan came over. He was 55 as our starting shortstop, made every play as long as he could get to it.
The cool thing about this whole thing with Wayne, He must have Laconia's number. So the year we went to state, 2013, I believe Wayne is the oldest guy in the Crow to have a win in league play. He
Okay.
beat Laconia in 2013 when he was 50.
Probably 57 then, yeah.
57-ish.
I think he's 69 now, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. 55. I would have to ask again, but yeah, he beat Waconia in 2013 when he was 50. I want to say 57-ish. I would like to see that stat if somebody has a win older than him.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure not in the Crow that I've been playing.
Yeah.
Since I've been playing, if I remember right. But
he had 1 year he pitched 55 innings, didn't walk a batter.
Yeah.
It had like an ERA under 1 or something like that. But back in the day.
Wow.
No, that's Townball, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the stories that we remember and we love, and
Yeah.
Getting to talk about that stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Get your juice. Get your juice.
And he is a little bit of an inspiration to me, where I'm 39 and every year it's like, do I really want to play again? And I want to play again. I see Wayne out there, I'm like, I could do what he does. I can maybe make it to 55 or something. I'm like, I don't know if I will, but that's a topic. That's another discussion, because my wife asked if I was going to play with my kids. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
For better or worse, I'm going to wear that jersey as long as I can.
Yeah. Yep. Right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. As long as my body holds up, my arm holds up, I'll probably play. So
love that. Love that. Well, I think we've kind of reached the end of this. I mean, great talks. I mean, this was so much fun. This is so much fun. I wanted to kind of leave it to you guys now. If there's anything big that you guys wanted to plug, anything you wanted to bring up, bring to people's attention. Obviously, chatted about the golf tournament a little bit earlier, which was super awesome too. So we'll be sure to throw that in our socials and stuff, so people can check that out and donate how they will for that too. But anything else that we missed that you guys wanted to chat about or bring it up at all, certainly can. No pressure if not either too. It's still okay.
We didn't say much about how Doug has meant to Brownton and the years that he's put into the Brownton field, and Dave Wentland also a part of that. And those two guys just are the heart and soul of Brownton baseball. For what they've done on the field, what they put into Brownton baseball. Our field wouldn't look as good as it does without those two guys. So big shout out to those two and what they've done, and big time legends in Brownton. So
absolutely.
All right. I was just going to touch on everything again, which we did already. The golf tournament. If anyone reach out to Ryan, come out to Townball tour June 25th. If you have anyone wants to sponsor something for the state tournament, Ryan and myself are your guys for the ads. Reach out to us. But other than that, we covered a lot of things. So
and that's not something we should forget to mention. It's this year's state tournament is Hutchinson, Brownton, and Gaylord.
Yep. Glencoe is the fourth site. And
Glencoe is the fourth site.
Yep.
That's a big deal, guys. That's really awesome. Congratulations for hosting. I know you guys are going to do a great job. You're going to be very receptive for everybody and do a great job hosting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and it's going to be a crazy year for us, and we're right in the thick of things now with May. We're like, this is a big month for us.
Yep.
So to get stuff done.
It'll be interesting too how the format, but in our eyes, it's going to be quite the tournament, with getting a lot of fresh blood back in the state tournament in C-ball, and having your core B teams that make, like Watertown. I mean, if they make it, they haven't been in 2 years. That's a big following. I mean, there's a lot of teams that Plato hasn't made it in 2 years that have good core groups, and you're going to get a lot of those showing up. So we're excited to kind of kick off the new format this year. And hopefully prove to the state board that it was the right decision. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining. We greatly appreciate you taking times out of your lives to chat about the game and the tradition that we all love here. I could definitely speak for Shane, for myself on that one too. Was awesome. Was so awesome. So really, really thank you so much for coming on. It was great time. Great time.
yeah, thanks for reaching out and having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for having us. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
We'll see you in a week or so.
Hey,
That's
2
right.
weeks, guys.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right.
And you have to,
I guess a little over a week.
little over a week, but you have to have a bat versus me, right?
Oh, we'll see.
Okay.
We just got to keep his pitch count under 100 that day.
Hey,
Yeah, no taking pictures. Just come up
you
with good
you
swings.
tell our manager that I need an at bat against you, and then we'll
Oh, I
figure it
will.
out.
Yep,
All right.
I'm going
Good.
to.
Good. Awesome, folks. Well, as for Ryan, Taylor, Shane, and myself, folks, thank you for listening to the North Star 9 podcast. Until next time, we are out.